Welcome back to part 2 of today's show. Ryan Thomas, this is the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. Podcast for you, the listeners, you primarily based out of One Buffalo. This is a One Buffalo podcast where I talk about the Buffalo Bills. I talk about a lot of stuff, but the main base of my viewership or listeners, I should say, are Buffalo Bills fans, as am I. So this is the area I've grown up in my entire life, Western New York, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Got great people, great food, great bar scene in Buffalo and Western New York, and I really enjoy being from this area. Whether my teams have underperformed or overperformed when I wasn't really around enough to see that at that time with the 4 straight Super Bowls, I always have held out the hope that one day I will see the Bills win a Super Bowl, and I hope that day comes sooner rather than later. So here we are. The 2017 NFL Draft is a month away, a month and 8 days away, and I did the 32 picks, 32 teams, 32 days segment. I didn't finish it yet. I'm going to continue that, but there's so much stuff I want to talk about before I go on to the next team. And I believe that was the 15th overall, 16th overall Eagles and the Colts. That was the next one. So I'll definitely do that sometime this week. Keep your eyes open for that on Facebook and YouTube. And obviously, I'll be talking about, today, the Buffalo Bills. Trading down. Is trading down an option for the Buffalo Bills? The Bills hold the 10th overall pick in the 2017 NFL Draft. They've filled a multitude of needs in free agency. One thing that Doug Whaley has been able to do that I will give him credit for is the fact that he has been able to bring in players at key positions of need via free agency. We've seen that with the Mario Williams when Whaley was like the assistant GM at that time. As long as Whaley has been here, there have been additions. Manny Lawson is a guy that comes to mind. And then obviously this offseason, there's quite a few that I can't even count. You got Micah Hyde, you got Jordan Poyer at safety, both guys playing safety in the 2017 season. I'm assuming a huge need for the Bills. And then you have Andre Holmes, who just signed with the Buffalo Bills yesterday. It was reported early by the NFL Players Association. It was a gaffe by the NFLPA. They weren't supposed to release that news, and they did, and it was premature. And now Holmes is a Buffalo Bill for sure. And I like that signing a lot. 6'5", 230, a big wide receiver, a guy that can go up and get the ball. It makes me wonder, though, on my NFL mock draft, I have the Buffalo Bills slotted at 10th overall, taking Mike Williams, the Clemson wideout. And now that the Bills have Andre Holmes, I'm wondering if they will go O.J. Howard at 10. Or will they trade down? If there's a possibility that the Bills could trade down for this year's NFL Draft, I would hope that they would at least listen to some of the offers that are coming their way over the phone. You got a lot of teams in the 15 to 25 range that would probably love to have a top 10 pick. Being that they're at the back end of that top 10 at 10th overall, pushing that pick as a top 10 pick would allow it to be traded. Hey guys, 31 other teams in the NFL, we have the 10th overall pick. We have a top 10 pick. We'd like to trade it. See if we can get some picks back for that pick. Being that Doug Whaley traded 2 first-round picks to get Sammy Watkins in 2014, being that we did not have a first-round draft choice in 2015, being that we drafted Shaq Lawson in the 2016 NFL Draft only for him to miss 8 games his rookie year, and being that we drafted Reggie Ragland in the second round only for him to miss his entire season, there are a lot of holes on this team, and even the areas that are somewhat stable, there's question marks in Reggie, in Shaq, especially as far as the durability of Sammy Watkins. So should the Bills trade down? There are plenty of guys in the second and third round even that the Bills could get the Bills could draft at the skill positions like corner, like wide receiver, that would do just as well as a first-round corner or a first round wide receiver like Mike Williams. Only time will tell. But if it were me, if I was in the GM chair, I would at least listen, based on the fact that they have a lot of other needs in other areas around their team, defense and offense, that taking one player only to have 5 picks after that does not seem likely. I think the Bills are a prime candidate to trade down. I think that's more likely than any situation in any scenario. The Bills are on the clock. Roger Goodell goes up on stage, says the Buffalo Bills are on the clock. I don't think that could ever happen for this 2017 draft. It could be Roger Goodell walking up to the podium and saying, we have a trade. The Bills make a trade. They go with another option where they get a multitude of picks in the middle rounds, maybe even an extra second rounder. That would be the best case scenario. That would be the only scenario in which I would trade the first round pick if I'm getting both that team's first and their second, and maybe even their third or fourth, especially if it's a top 10 pick, especially if it's a guy like a Derek Barnett, who I don't believe will be gone by then. Tennessee Vol, defensive end, great pass rusher and a rich pass rushing class. Could a team be in the market for him? There's a lot of guys that would mix and match in that area. If one of the running backs falls, which I don't anticipate that they will, but if Fournette or Cook fall, they fall out of the top 10. Buffalo feels like they do not need a running back. They have LaShawn McCoy. They have Tolbert. They're bringing back Gillislee from what I'm hearing. Patrick DeMarco is their fullback. They don't need a running back. Could a team want to move up with the Bills and get that 10th overall selection and take a Leonard Fournette or take a Dalvin Cook? Only time will tell. But I want to let it be known that this is a situation that Bills fans should become prepared with, because if you're expecting the Bills to pick 10th overall, you're really destined to fail in terms of letting yourself down, because I think that this is a real situation that the Bills want to get as many players in, fill as many needs as possible on that rookie wage scale. That rookie wage scale is as important as any dynamic in the NFL salary cap. When you can bring in guys at a lower rate than virtually any other NFL player, and they're making a big contribution to your team as a rookie right off the bat, that is huge. Case in point, Dak Prescott. He's still on his rookie contract. He will be on his rookie contract, I believe, for the next 3 years. So a possibility indeed that the Buffalo Bills will look to trade down, acquire a multitude of picks, maybe draft a quarterback in the middle rounds again, being that E.J. Manuel is now an Oakland Raider. I anticipated that E.J. would get gobbled up quick due to the fact that he's 6'5", 240, due to the fact that he had the career that he had in Buffalo. All jokes aside, the circumstances, the situations for him to flourish were not there. They put him in virtually a no-win scenario, and his confidence was completely shot. I'm excited to see what he does with this new opportunity. I hope he makes the best of it. I'm going to root for any Bill, whether they're on the Bills or whether they're gone, except for Stephon Gilmore, obviously. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the Buffalo Bills should trade down? Should they go in that direction? If they decide not to trade down, obviously the guys that I like Mike Williams out of Clemson, and I like O.J. Howard out of Bama. Both teams represented the BCS college football stage as the national championship game. Those are both of the teams in the national championship game. And Clemson won this year, and Bama won the year before, the second year in a row that both teams had played against each other. So only time will tell as far as which school for this year's draft created better pros. I would say Bama right off the bat. It seems as if they have more pros listed in the top 50 prospects lists and stuff like that. It'll be very interesting. But O.J. Howard is a guy that I have stated I think he will help Tyrod out, especially over the middle of the field. And he creates a mismatch on the field. Mike Williams, great number 2 wide receiver to Sammy Watkins. He said he wanted to play with Sammy Watkins in the NFL. So only time will tell. I'm Ryan Thomas. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I did part 1, the UFC Mayweather versus McGregor boxing fight. What do I think about that? What do I think about McGregor's career so far? And the Buffalo Bills. Are they trading down? Only time will tell. Take care, guys.